feet are cut. وَقَالَ الْمَلَأُ مِنْ قَوْمِ فِرْعَوْنَ, and so said the chiefs from the nation of Fir'aun, أَتَذَرُ مُوسَى وَقَوْمَهُ لِيُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, will you allow Moses and his nation and his people, Bani Israel, to make mischief in the land? وَيَذَرَكَ وَآلِهَتَكَ, and leave you and your gods? They wanted that a stern action should be taken against Moses before it becomes uncontrollable. So they nip the evil in the bud. That was the advice of the chiefs of the nation of Fir'aun. But please note here, this Fir'aun who was now ruling Egypt was just like a younger brother to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. When Hazrat Musa alayhi salam in his infancy, he had come to the palace of Fir'aun. That we'll read inshallah in Surah Al Qasas, when the mother gave birth to him. And then because the command was that any male child born to any Israeli woman must be put to death. So when she feared that people will come and take him away and kill him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired her. You put him in a box and put the box in Nile, in the river. We shall return him to you. That is our promise. That was the inspiration that Allah gave to the mother of Moses. And now this box, reached the palace. And he was taken out. The king at that time was the father of the king who was now reigning. And he was without any child, issueless. His wife, and he was from the Israelites. Wife. It is mentioned, in Quran, in Surah Al Tahrim, Imrat of Fir'aun. And she saved the life. They had recognized that this is an Israeli child. But because he was issueless, she said, okay, we shall keep him. We shall take him, adopt him as a son. And somehow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put some, mercy in the heart of that Fir'aun, and he was saved. Now he was brought up in the palace of Fir'aun. After some time, that Fir'aun also got a son. So now these two were brought up like brothers. Moses was as if an elder brother of this Fir'aun. And now that Fir'aun, the older one, the father of this one, when he had grown old, he abdicated the throne. Just as King Fahd, he has handed over the authority to Prince Abdullah. So he had given, the authority, and now he was the reigning emperor now. And he loved Hazrat Musa. He didn't want to kill him. And now the chiefs were saying, أَتَذَرُ مُوسَى وَقَوْمَهُ لِيُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, you will give them the license? You will keep them safe? Are you going to leave them alone so that they produce mischief in the land? Because what they were doing, according to their interests, vested interests, it was a mischief. And tazara, وَيَذَرَكَ وَآلِهَتَكَ, and they leave and forsake you and your lords. قَالَ سَنُقَتِّلُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ, he said, no, we shall kill all their male offsprings. What they will be able to do? What harm they will be able to do to us? But they will be reduced. We shall be keeping alive only the women. سَنُقَتِّلُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ وَنَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُمْ وَإِنَّا فَوْقَهُمْ قَاهِرُونَ. We are very much in control over them. They can't pose a threat to us. Don't fear. قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ اسْتَعِينُوا بِاللَّهِ وَاصْبِرُوا. Now for the first time, when he had seen a vision, and he had given the command that any male child, when Musa was born, at that time also, any male child born to an Israeli woman must be put to death. Again the same, ordinance was issued. قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ, and Musa said to his people, اسْتَعِينُوا بِاللَّهِ وَاصْبِرُوا. Now you call the help of Allah and have patience. You must have forbearance. It's a trial from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna al-arda lillah. This earth, this land belongs to Allah. يُورِثُهَا مَن يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. He makes it to inherit anyone whom he likes. If he has decided that he is giving this time and respite to Fir'aun and this nation, okay, what can we do? Except to accept what he has decided and to have patience. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. But surely the end result will be for the pious people who believe in him, who have taqwa. But these things, ups and downs come to the people. But the end, especially the hereafter, that is reserved. The good of the hereafter is reserved for those who believe. قَالُوا أُوذِينَا مِن قَبْلِ أَن تَأْتِيَنَا وَمِن بَعْدِ مَا جِئْتَنَا. They said, "O Moses, O Musa, we were persecuted before you came to us. And we are still being persecuted when you have come to us." So that was, their feelings. أُوذِينَا مِن قَبْلِ أَن تَأْتِيَنَا وَمِن بَعْدِ مَا جِئْتَنَا. The same persecutions are coming to us. Our male offspring is being put to death. Only the females kept alive. قَالَ عَسَىٰ رَبُّكُمْ أَن يُهْلِكَ عَدُوَّكُمْ. He said, it's just possible. We must hope for it. That your Lord destroys your enemy. وَيَسْتَخْلِفَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. And then He gives you the rule of the earth. He makes you the vicegerents on earth. فَيَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. And then He will see what you do. This ayah is very important regarding the history of the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent. We, the Muslims, were fearing Hindu majority. And we prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, just give us freedom. And just save us from the Britishers as well as deliver us from the threatening slavery to the Hindus. And we shall establish your deen. And we shall, make your kalima supreme." But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us Pakistan. It was a miracle. Nobody could hope that Pakistan would be established, even a few months before the establishment of Pakistan. It was because we had promised to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "We shall make your deen supreme over that land, if you grant us Pakistan." Now Allah granted, فَيَنْظُرَ كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. Now He will see how you behave, whether you fall back on your words and promises or you fulfill the promise. And we failed to fulfill the promise. That is why the beating came to us in the form of the incident of 1971. What happened? How many Muslims Pakistani killed? How many of them? 93,000 of them became captives with Hindus, POWs. 43 regular troops, 43,000 taken captives. So all that was actually the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a nation makes a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then goes back on the promise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a Muslim nation, if he makes a promise, Allah fulfills the promise. But then, وَعَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِكُمْ يُوفِ بِعَهْدِي. Now you must also fulfill your part of the agreement and covenant. And if you don't, well, you are punished. And we are being punished even today.